In my 10th year of liking Lucas Pierce, I finally felt uninterested. I stopped clinging to him, returned his gifts, and declined all his invitations. Months and months went by and I didn't even show up in front of him, until my best friend showed me a photo. Under the dim light, a white hand is placed on the man's strong and thin side waist. Where the fingertips touched, my name was written, highly charged with sexual tension. He finally couldn't sit still and took the initiative to come to me to make peace, only to see me being pinched and kissed by another man to the point of almost losing control. The man raised an eyebrow at him. What? Luke always has a fetish for spying on people making out? Wonderful novels converge into a book. Subscribe to the House of Romantic Stories. Do not miss the full text of a broadcast to the end. Do not forget to press the like, leave a message, share, subscribe, turn on the little bell. Wonderful story now begins. Lucas Pierce looked at me with a smirk when he realized my phone screensaver was him. Like me? Are you serious? I bit my lip and nodded with a red face. He stood in front of the window in the hallway, the neon light and shadow imprinted on his face. A little blurry. But Sophie Williams, you're not my type. I've always thought of you as a sister. Sister? For a moment, I felt like I'd misheard him. How can it be a sister? For as long as I can remember, Lucas Pierce has always been there for me. Close enough that all I have to do is turn around and I'll see him. When I was so stressed about my SAT/ACT exams that I broke out in acne, he personally prepared recipes for me, tutored me, and accompanied me on the exams. I was snatched back abroad, shed a tear. He private jet flew to my side, crying what knows. Brother to your shoulder to lean on. When he heard his partner verbally molested me, he politely smashed the other side of the field, turned his head to bankruptcy. I cannot afford to say a word to you. How dare he bully you? When I lost my temper with my family and didn't want to take over the family's industry, he pulled me around in front of everyone and defended me. What are you afraid of? If she doesn't want to do anything in the future, I'll support her. His absolute favoritism was given to me alone. Isn't that love? Wouldn't a brother do that to his own sister? I was undeterred. But I don't want to be your sister. Lucas Pierce lit a cigarette and sighed helplessly. Wei. I want our relationship to remain as it is now. He slowly exhaled the smoke ring. I sniffled and coughed twice, and he quickly put out the cigarette and looked at me with downcast eyes. Lovers will face breakups, while intimate relationships will last. Do you understand? I shook my head. You're still young. You can't tell what's like and what's habit and dependence. Try a few more relationships and you'll know. I held his hand tightly. Lucas Pierce, I can tell the difference. I've liked you for a long time. I don't want to be your sister. I want to be your girlfriend. Can you give me a chance? It was a desperate gamble on my self-respect. And he was silent. Silence is also the answer. Tears flowed indisputably. He just looked at me with a hint of impatience in his eyes. By the end of the cry, I suddenly felt a little tired. Also suddenly felt that I was ridiculous. Like a child. Using crying to gain attention from others. Such a self. Too wretched. I slowly stopped my tears. Lucas Pierce jerked his hand away. It seems to let me completely cut off the relationship. Or completely dead to him. The smile at the corners of his mouth slowly retracted, and he exuded a coldness that didn't bother to deal with me. Sophie Williams. Girls who throw themselves at others, really desperate. The words to say were caught between my throats. The words were over. And saying too much more would only embarrass myself more. So I tugged at my lips. Got it. Brother Lucas Pierce. I didn't dwell on it and wiped away my own tears. The air was so quiet that all you could hear was the crackling rain outside. Can I give you a ride? I shook my head. No need. He seemed to want to say something else, but nodded dryly. Take care of yourself. Good. After saying that, I turned around and left, taking a taxi back to school. The rain was still falling. I used my bag to cover my head and hid by the school gate, soaked to the skin. I wiped my face and couldn't tell if it was rain or tears. As I was about to continue rushing into the rain, an umbrella was handed to me. Looking up, it was someone from my class. I think his name was Ethan Carter. I accepted his kindness, but I didn't expect it, and still came down with a fever. As I burned in the middle of the night until I was in a daze, I wondered if maybe this was the bout of lost love. It takes severe illness to get completely well. On the way home over the weekend, my mom called me. Good boy. Wait and have the driver drive next door to Uncle Lou's house. We're having dinner here today. Thinking of Lucas Pierce's face, I refused. Mom, I don't feel well and don't want to go. There's a good thing going on at Uncle Luck's house today. So you show up and go home again. Is that okay? I thought about it and agreed. When I hung up the phone, Ran sent me a picture. Your Lucas Pierce took a picture of a necklace for you. A big deal, P.S. Received when I did not say. A few days ago at the auction my friend sent me. How come I didn't see you sunbathing? My heart was lifted high. I've loved that necklace for a long time. And I've mentioned it to Lucas Pierce before. But when I stepped into Lou's house, I found the necklace on another girl's neck. She was Victoria Blake. My brain briefly went down for a moment, and I didn't react until she smiled and greeted me. Sophie Williams is growing up and getting better looking. I forced my emotions back and smiled at her. Hello, Herna. Victoria Blake is very good. She's the same age as Lucas Pierce, and she's one of the rare people in our group who can compete with him. Lucas Pierce has always admired her. At this moment, even if I were a fool, I would know that today's gathering of the families was organized by the elders in order to set them up. I wasn't very sad. I'm just wondering why this necklace. Why this necklace? I raised my eyes and met Lucas Pierce's. He frowned. He frowned and quickly looked away. It seems to be that he is not too happy with my arrival. After all, our relationship picks up. I shouldn't be so unintelligent to appear in his and other people's matchmaking banquet. ID asked Lucas Pierce tentatively if it was possible when there had been rumors about the two of them before. He said he and Victoria Blake were too much alike. Both had strong personalities and would be fine as partners. At that time, I was still foolishly thinking that I was soft and complimentary to him. It was all my own fault. This meeting, I did not stay until the end. Instead, I replied to Ren, "It's not for me." And also, he rejected me after he found out I had a crush on him. I start packing up the gifts Lucas Pierce gave me. On the other end of the video, Ren chattered on. Rejected you? Come on. How is that possible? He said he treats me like a sister and doesn't want to cross that line. The box in her hand is a gift from Lucas Pierce from Pakistan. He was on a business trip, and when he could have come back earlier, he stayed an extra day just to buy me something. And then there was a terrorist attack. Still on video. A stray bullet exploded right behind him, breaking the line. I stayed up all night worrying, wetting my pillow with tears, ready to go find him. Instead, he showed up in front of me with this gift. The corner of his forehead is still wounded. Look at my red eyes. He rubbed my face. Not dead. I'm not back properly. I jumped over and hugged him. My mood could not be calmed for a long time. Sister? That's a laugh. Can Lucas Pierce believe it himself? We grew up together. And look at the difference between how he treats us and how he treats you. I used to think it was all his favoritism towards me. A little romance between us. But I don't feel that way anymore. In Lucas Pierce's eyes, I'm a sister, a relative, a family member. The only thing that can't be is a lover. A little bored in my heart, I walked to the balcony. But then I saw the next floor under the big tree in Lou's garden. Lucas Pierce and Victoria Blake were very close to each other. Seems to be kissing. Lucas Pierce's afterglow seemed to be glancing towards me. Like a voyeur caught in the act, I quickly retreated into the room. I suddenly felt meaningless through. As I closed the curtains, I wondered nastily if Lucas Pierce had let me see this on purpose, to make me completely dead to him. But he didn't know that this heart had died on the day of the heavy rain. I didn't pay attention to their news anymore. Just thought, find a chance to return all those gifts to Lucas Pierce. Ren's birthday was celebrated at the place we always went. When I arrived, my friend Oliver Grant had just come in from outside. He met Lucas Pierce eating next door, and when I asked him to come, he said he'd pay the bill and wouldn't come himself. Guess who he's eating with? He had a gossipy look on his face, and Ren, mindful of me, was about to go up and cover his mouth. Had already said it, with Victoria Blake. Oh my, what a bombshell. Two of the best people in our circle have actually gotten together. Hey. No. What about Sophie Williams? No. You're the one with the mouth. Right? Why don't you stop talking? Emily Harper threw a pillow at her. Oliver Grant looks innocent. Emily Harper. Did you eat a bomb? I just said Sophie Williams. Why are you reacting like that? Rand gave him a blank look and comforted me. Wei, don't be sad. Men. What's old is new again. I smiled. It's your birthday. Leave me alone. My birthday wish is, of course, for my sisters to be happy. Fuck Lucas Pierce. Doesn't he know how valuable it is to love someone for so many years nowadays? I'm telling you. You should listen to me. Get a male model. Let him take the initiative. Let his world revolve around you only. I'm telling you. You'll soon be too immersed in it to get out of it. You won't even give him a second glance. Not to mention that he's Lucas Pierce. Let him regret it. What male model? What regret? Emily Harper. What kind of weird stuff were you thinking? Oliver Grant chimed in. While they were fighting, I stepped out of the room to get some air. When I looked down, I saw a familiar figure surrounded by people in the alleyway downstairs. His arms were bruised and his clothes were ripped. I got a good look at him when he raised his face slightly. It was Ethan Carter. After 3 years of going to school together, I hadn't thought that Ethan Carter's family was actually in this much trouble. I saved him. Then I gave him a sum of money to pay off his debts. The rest, you go pay your grandmother's medical bills. Sort of repaying him for that umbrella on a rainy day. He froze for a long time, his eyes slowly turning red. The teenager clenched his hands into fists, veins bulging. The cold white skin was illuminated by the streetlight, and there was a sense of brokenness. He said the money would be returned to me as soon as possible. Or, if I need anything, I can always find him. Sometimes the fate between people is so marvelous. Or sometimes when a person makes a decision, and you look back and think about it, you have no idea for what reason you made it in the first place. That's how Ethan Carter became my first boyfriend. My impression of him was that he was always cool and lonely. And I heard from my roommates that he was always on the confession wall. But his mind was not on it. He started his own business with his brothers at a very early age. He has won many awards in entrepreneurship competitions, ranked one of the best in his specialty, and he has always had his own goals. It was pretty far away from me. My life at the beginning, besides finishing my studies, was to be close to Lucas Pierce. So with the roles reversed, I'm also wondering what it would be like to be in a relationship when someone is infinitely more active and has eyes only for you. Would it make me feel desperate? Senior year classes have been few and far between, and Ethan Carter has fulfilled them well. We're together, and he's taking full initiative. While busy with his own career, he still valued me, even if our relationship was sustained by money. A month or two went by, fueled by hormones. We held hands and hugged and spent time together like a normal couple. I didn't reach out to Lucas Pierce again. Ren said she and Oliver Grant ran into him on a play date once. He asked how I was doing. Ren blurted out that I was in love. Lucas Pierce's face darkened, and he sneered and left without saying hello to us. What do you think he meant? I don't know, but that night, I did receive a message from him. You're out of your league. At the time, I didn't think there was anything to it, so I didn't reply. It's been a while, I guess. I had just gotten out of the library with Ethan Carter when I got his call. Are you at school? Ethan Carter gave me his umbrella in the sunlight, gently looking away. He was giving me space. Even if he and I weren't lovers, our lineage made it impossible for us to be enemies. What's more, he didn't seem to have done anything wrong to me. He just doesn't like me. I came to school for a forum and stopped by to buy your favorite cupcakes. His tone was as usual, as if the previous discovery of my crush on him was just an insignificant hiccup. There was a small stone in the road, and I tripped over it without noticing. Ethan Carter quickly held me up and whispered a warning. Watch out. Returning to my senses, I reject Lucas Pierce's kind offer. No, brother Lucas Pierce. I've recently lost weight and quit sugar. He was silent for a moment, but there was a slight imperceptible tremor in his tone when he spoke again. Then I'll take you out for dinner. I have an appointment with my boyfriend at noon to have dinner together. For a long time, there was no sound on the other end of the phone. Finally, I heard his gradually aggravated breathing with some incredulity. Male. Friend? Lucas Pierce, brother. Last time Rand did not lie to you. I really have a boyfriend. Walking out of the corner, I saw Lucas Pierce on the floor of my dormitory. His dignified demeanor caused the girls passing by to glance at him sideways. He also saw me. He took a big step in front of me. I put down the phone, pursed my lips, and called him Brother Lucas Pierce. Wei, don't you want to be introduced? I don't know if it's just me, but his tone had some gnashing of teeth. Just as I was about to speak, Ethan Carter took my hand. In his usual way, he interlocked his fingers with mine, like he was trying to squeeze me into the palm of his hand. He was polite, and his tone was gentle. Hi, my name is Ethan Carter. Lucas Pierce looked at him with a blank face, but the dessert bag was contorted from his squeeze. He moved his gaze to me and raised his eyebrows slightly. Why don't you tell him who I am? I was confused for a moment. What was the meaning of this? It was hard to be stared at. So I had to tell Ethan Carter stiffly. This is my neighbor, Brother Lucas Pierce. The words just fell out of my mouth. The bag fell to the floor, spilling dessert all over the place. I heard Lucas Pierce's hard voice. Neighbor? I don't know which words touched him. That day, Lucas Pierce looked at me for a few moments with a strange look I had never seen before, and then left in a daze. The weather in the north gets cold very fast, and the snow fell early this year. Ren asked me to go skiing, and I took Ethan Carter with me. In the car on the way up the mountain, Ethan Carter shoved a baby warmer in my hand, and when he got off the car, he didn't move to tie a scarf around me, wrapping my whole body tightly. Snowflakes fell on his hair and eyelashes, tinting them with a layer of white. And I smiled. Ethan Carter, your eyelashes are so long. Has anyone ever told you that? His lips curved into an arc and he shook his head. No. Then now there is. Do you think you can put matches on it? After putting the hat on me as well, he lowered his eyelashes. Then you'll try it later. Now reach out and put your gloves on. I dutifully held out my hand. Ethan Carter was such a man, thoughtful in all things, attentive and gentle. Most importantly, he was emotionally stable and I felt at ease with him. This is the first time I've brought him to meet my friends. Ran was the most excited, pulling me aside to whisper, Wei Wei, this boyfriend of yours is too good looking, isn't he? I told you. The best way to forget a relationship is to start the next one. By the way, Lucas Pierce is here, but he seems to be talking business with someone. I nodded. After all, we're all in the same circle. It's impossible to do a complete avoidance. It's too deliberate. Instead, it looks like you care. Ethan Carter brought me a thermos. You just had a few coughs. Have some to moisten you up. I smiled at him. Why don't you and Ren go change your gear? I'll watch you guys skate. I'm ashamed to say that I'm a sports idiot and haven't been able to learn how to ski in all these years. I'll take you skiing. His eyes burned. Not like he was joking. Are you good? Yeah, I'm good. He wasn't modest at all. I was so excited that I changed into my ski clothes with him. Ren and Oliver Grant were already having fun on the slopes, riding under the setting sun. They looked especially handsome, probably seeing the envy in my eyes. Ethan Carter tucked my hair into his hat for me after putting my glasses on. I'll hold you and slide. Huh? Ethan Carter had already organized his gear and reached out to me, wearing a black ski suit that didn't overpower his 188 height. By the time I reacted, I was hanging on to him, hugging his neck for dear life. Ethan Carter. I'm heavy. Not heavy. You need to eat more. Ethan Carter. Can you? You do it? Trust me. He held my legs in his hands, the distance narrowing to just the tangled sound of each other's breaths. Oliver Grant and Ren whistle at us. For some reason, my face burns a little. Ready? In my ear is Ethan Carter's low, gentle voice. Uh-huh. Then let's go. In the moment of weightlessness, I couldn't help but scream out, Ethan Carter. I'm here. Ethan Carter. Sophie Williams. Look at the sunset. It's beautiful. I never knew Ethan Carter was such a good skier. Then he took me for a ride in every position. When I stopped to catch my breath, I suddenly realized that a line of sight fell on me. I glanced sideways and saw Lucas Pierce. He had arrived at some point and had already changed into his ski clothes. I remembered that in the past, when I came to skiing, it was Lucas Pierce who taught me. He was very patient, holding my hand and teaching me over and over again. But I still couldn't do it. Whenever people laughed at me, Lucas Pierce would snicker at them. Go play. Don't affect our family's learning. In fact, Lucas Pierce is right. It turns out that dependence and habit will slowly disappear with the passage of time. Now, I don't need him. The other friends are clamoring for Lucas Pierce and Ethan Carter to compete, because they were the best skaters on the scene. I pull Ethan Carter back and shake my head. Lucas Pierce let out a nasal TSK. What? You afraid I'll beat him? Don't worry. Ethan Carter takes my hand. Well, you be careful then. Lucas Pierce's face instantly darkened. His eyes rested on the hand Ethan Carter and I were holding together. It's getting hotter and hotter, like it's trying to stare a hole through me. They ride the cable car up, and Ren comes up beside me. I don't quite get it. Why did brother Lucas Pierce agree to this contest? He's not jealous, is he? I shook my head. I don't know. Wasn't he the one who told me to try more relationships? Besides, would a brother be jealous of his sister? When the game started, the whole stadium was cheering. I mentally squeezed for Ethan Carter. After all, Lucas Pierce's skills are top-notch. It was all fine at first, but by the middle of the race, Lucas Pierce and Ethan Carter were getting closer and closer. Toward the finish line, Lucas Pierce fell behind by a small margin, and then his ski intentionally touched Ethan Carter's ski. Ethan Carter fell, and Lucas Pierce crossed the finish line first. Only those who have skied know how much it hurts to fall at that speed. Lucas Pierce skied in front of me, as if trying to say that the person I chose was nothing more than that. How unbearable it was. And I just stare at him with a cold gaze. Fun? Lucas Pierce. Is it fun? Ignoring the dismay in his eyes, I rushed over to Ethan Carter. How are you doing? It doesn't hurt. I'm fine. How could he be fine? He couldn't even stand up. I'm fine. Ethan Carter was still gentle, but I could see that his hands and legs were shaking. I was always good-natured and soft, but now I felt a fire burning in my heart. I ran back to Lucas Pierce. You apologized to him. Him? Lucas Pierce looked as if he had heard a big joke. Sophie Williams, do you realize what you're saying? I know. Lucas Pierce, you knocked him down. I saw you. So? You want to take my side over someone you just met? I gazed at him in silence. Lucas Pierce screwed up his eyebrows and looked at me incredulously. Sophie Williams, you fucking love. I interrupted. I like him. Can't I? Also, he's not someone I just met. He's someone I've known for a long time. I said word for word. His name is Ethan Carter, and he's my boyfriend now. For a moment, the air was quiet. So quiet that even my friends around me held their breath. They all knew that Lucas Pierce had been the only one in my eyes all these years. It was his little tale. Everyone thought that we would logically be together at the right time. I thought so, too. But everyone misses the point. If someone really likes you, how can they make you wait? The atmosphere stalled, and Ren nudged Oliver Grant, trying to get him to pull Lucas Pierce. And Lucas Pierce looked at me with slightly red eyes and snapped. He kicked over his skis, raising layers of snow spray. Then he said to me, well, I've been hurting you all these years for nothing." He left with the wind and snow in his wake. I walked over and slowly helped Ethan Carter up. The private ski resort was equipped with a doctor. An examination revealed some soft tissue contusions, a bone in his knee, and a little misalignment of his ankle. Throughout, Ethan Carter looked at me gently and told me not to worry. He didn't even say a word when a couple of doctors helped him break the misaligned bones right. The tip of my nose got a little sore, and when the doctors left, I sat down next to him. "I'm sorry. I didn't know this would happen, nor did I know that Lucas Pierce would do this." Ethan Carter's eyes were extra soft in the warm light. He took my hand and patted it. "It's okay. Sophie Williams. Thanks for bringing me to meet your friends. I had a great time." Ethan Carter was always like that. Always the gentle look. Coming out of his room, I ran into Lucas Pierce leaning against the wall in the hallway. We just stared at each other in silence. It was he who finally sighed and approached me, reaching out to touch my head as he always did. I ducked away. "What? Afraid of me?" He frowned. "So defensive of me now?" "Brother Lucas Pierce, I have a boyfriend." So it was no longer appropriate to act in such an intimate and misleading manner. I don't want myself to make a fool of myself again by thinking he likes me because of his behavior. It's already turned over. Even if it's a brother-sister relationship, you have to keep your distance. Lucas Pierce gritted his teeth, the corners of his lips twitching. "Little white boy, you've only been talking to him for how long? And you're so defensive and into him? I just feel like I should show respect for the relationship. Maintaining respect is predicated on pushing me away." Brother Lucas Pierce. I called him. Ren and the others used to call him Brother Lucas Pierce. And I never called him by his first name in a soft way. After last time, I had called him brother. I think my behavior made itself known. "You're the one who said the girl who takes the initiative desperates." "Did you forget?" He gasped and laughed. "Still gambling with me? It's not a bet." I rounded on him. "I really don't like you anymore." I didn't see Lucas Pierce again for a long time after that day. I only occasionally heard about his successful project with Victoria Blake. They said they were strong together and good things were on the horizon. I didn't care much about it, but stayed in my dorm room to prepare my thesis. The rest of the time was spent with Ethan Carter. He took me to meet his friends and told me about his and my brother's projects. Sometimes they were busy, and I would just quietly turn on my computer in their office and go about my business. He would occasionally give me blankets to keep me warm and would prepare small snacks for me. During a meeting, when he heard me coughing, he would not move to hand me honey water and go on with their meeting again. He never seemed to deny me anything. I indulged in his tenderness and gradually understood what Ren said. That when you are surrounded by love, you can't think of anything else. The day before New Year's Day, Ethan Carter gave me a gift. It was a necklace. It wasn't anything like the one I had before, but I knew it was the best he could give me. And then there was a bank card. "What's this?" "There's $500,000 on it. I'll pay you back some of it," I exclaimed. "Ethan Carter, where did you get all this money?" Meeting my eyes, he stuffed the card in my bag. That game has exploded after it was released in the circle of friends. And this is the dividend. I knew what they were doing. I just didn't expect a game that small to actually have that much. There's really no rush. The money was just a bag of tricks for me. And I wanted him to get on with his business. As if he knew what I was thinking. He smiled. "I kept it. You don't have to worry about me. Grandma is being taken care of too." I took his repayment. But suddenly I wondered in my mind that we started our relationship because of money. Does it mean the end after repaying my money? Not a sister. Don't tell me you're really into Ethan Carter. I mused. Ren shakes my shoulder. Really? I thought about it. Liking someone didn't seem like an embarrassing thing to do. So nodded. All that came to mind was Ethan Carter. He was an emotionally stable, gentle man who was always patient with me. No other flirty girls except for their startup gang. And would actively keep his distance. I've heard my roommates say he's a kale and flower before. I thought he would be so difficult to get along with. How high and cold people. But after real contact, in fact, he will also have a hot side, often in deserted corridors, tree-shadowed gardens, hugging me so tightly that he would suffocate me. But we didn't kiss. What did you say? You've been talking for almost 6 months and you haven't kissed? Is he no good? Not really. It's like, he just respects me. Ren was right back to looking serious. Okay, let's not talk about it. Sophie Williams, you have to realize the disparity between your families. Not to mention the fact that you guys seem to be starting off on the wrong foot. Look at the news. The social climber who falls for a rich girl and ends up getting his family's money split. It's okay to have fun, but I think you need to break up before graduation. So don't get yourself caught up in it. If you really like this one, just keep another one later. I wanted to say something to retort, but I realized that Lucas Pierce was standing behind us. I don't know if it's just me, but the corner of his mouth was slightly hooked. What are you smiling at? I just got home on New Year's Day and my mom dragged me next door. In the past, these holidays were celebrated by both families together. Your brother Lucas Pierce doesn't know what's going on. He's sick with a fever, so go upstairs and bring him a glass of water. And it'll help your Aunt Lou. I carried the glass of water and was pushed to the stairway. But wasn't he fine when I saw him last night? How come he suddenly got sick? When I knocked on the door and went in, Lucas Pierce was lying on the bed with a fever-reducing patch. His face a little pale. He seemed to be really sick. I walked over to him and called out, "Brother Lucas Pierce." He raised his hand and I hurriedly handed over the glass of water. "Are you better?" With my fingertips touching. His body temperature did seem a little high and I let go of the glass with a jerk, lowering my eyelashes. I felt as if he looked a little less than happy, but still. I pointed to the table. "Got a present for you." "No need." "Sophie Williams," he said in an aggravated tone, coughing violently again. I reached out to pat his back. He tugged on my hand. "A brother gives his sister a gift and now you're turning it down?" I sighed inwardly. It used to be true that Lucas Pierce used to give me gifts for holidays big and small. But, no buts. You have a boyfriend and you don't even want your brother anymore? He kept emphasizing brother. Makes me wonder if I just overthought it again. Well, thank you, brother Lucas Pierce. How have you been? Just as he finished his question, my cell phone rang. It was Ethan Carter. I turned around to answer it. Ethan Carter asked me if I had time this afternoon, as the stray cat we rescued earlier had found an adopter. Thinking that dinner was only at noon, I said yes. Then he said he'd take me to dinner tonight. And I agreed. When I hung up the phone, I realized that Lucas Pierce's face was a bit gloomy. But soon, he returned to his earlier appearance and smiled. "You're not going to spend the afternoon arranging flowers with them?" I pursed my lips and nodded. At the dinner table, my mom brought up Lucas Pierce and Victoria Blake, asked if the two had been in a relationship recently. Lucas Pierce was quick to deny. No, just working on a project together. My mom laughed. Victoria Blake is a good girl. You have to hurry up, or else she will run away with other boys. Just as she finished speaking, Lucas Pierce laid his eyes on me. I don't know what he remembered. Auntie Lou smiled back. Don't worry about Lucas Pierce. Worry about our Weiwei too. It's 22 this year. I hurriedly put down my chopsticks and waved my hand. I know what I'm doing. Look at how scared the child is. I would also like to say that Oliver Grant from the Gu family has good looks and character. My mom. Don't. Oliver Grant is a bit stubborn and silly. At this moment, Oliver Grant, who was at the spa hotel with Emily Harper, sneezed. After dinner, I excused myself to go back. Lucas Pierce, however, was back with my dad, saying he had to mow the garden. I went upstairs to gather my things, past the room where the presents were kept, and paused. Then I put in the things Lucas Pierce had just given me and didn't open them. When I went downstairs, I heard a gasp from my dad. I rushed over. Weiwei, quickly call 120. Your brother Lucas Pierce was smashed and hurt his foot. In the hospital. Lucas Pierce looked at me with an apologetic face. It's been too long since I touched that machine. You've been busy, haven't you? I looked at the gauze wrapped around his foot and didn't know what to say for a moment. Instead, I looked at my cell phone. Ethan Carter had just sent me a message saying that I should handle it without worrying, and that there was no need to rush. He also asked me if I needed to come and help out in the hospital. Is there something important? If you have something to do, you can go ahead and get busy. I can do it myself. Lucas Pierce was understanding at the right time. I looked down at his injury. Actually, you can do it without me, right? Can you get me a bottle of water when you leave? He smiled. I'm afraid it won't be convenient later. The company still has things left to take care of. And I forgot to bring my computer. Weiwei, can I trouble you to fetch it for me? Mom also called to say that I should take good care of Lucas Pierce. After all, he was sick and helped my dad out. But I always felt something was wrong. Why? Why is it so right? Lucas Pierce. Are you doing this on purpose? Did you mean to keep me out of your sight today? Lucas Pierce froze. He hadn't expected me to be so blunt and naked. But calm as he was, he hooked his lips. Is that what you think of me? It's hard not to think that way. What's in it for me if I do? I was dumbfounded. And it was like I was back at this dead end again. I think of you as a sister. And I don't like you. So, what's my reason for doing this? My mind was a little scrambled, and I tugged at my lips. I'll call the maid to deliver your computer, and hire an escort so it's easier for you to go to the bathroom. Lucas Pierce. I have an appointment with my boyfriend. I'm leaving. Just as I closed the door, I thought I heard something being smashed. Day by day. Lucas Pierce and I didn't mention what happened that day. Ethan Carter said they should all be in the office for New Year's Eve, because there was a new project that had to go live in time for New Year's. Meanwhile, a game they'd been working on for a year was in the works. It was a B-girl game, and he was the mastermind. I laughed. Ethan Carter. No wonder you're so nice to your girlfriend. It's because you've studied what girls want. He also laughed. So would the girlfriend be interested in helping us see what improvements we can make? You know, there are some personas that we don't have experience with. We rely on imagination and information. So during that time, as the consultant he specially hired, I went deeper to help them improve the line. and also found that the prospect was pretty good. Then I made a big move and said I would invest in them. Ethan Carter was having none of it. It was the first time he'd ever turned me down. Why? By investing in them, they'll have a lot of money to speed up development. Weevil, I'm already grateful to you. You helped me at the most difficult time in my life. You kept me from being overwhelmed by life, with my family still around, and able to continue my education and my own business, she said. I got out of that mud, and my life is looking up step by step. He says, I have you, and I cherish the time we have together. And I don't want you to pay more for me. You've taken the first step. So let me walk towards you step by step. Okay. This is the first time I've heard him say so many words about what's going on between us. My heart burned slightly, but I was stubborn. Ethan Carter, I'm betting that you'll let me win, that my investment will pay off. So I signed the investment agreement for a 10% share. On the day of the school vacation, Ren asked us to go to Tattoo. I refused. I'm afraid of pain. I don't want to. She looked at Oliver Grant again. Oliver Grant looked at Ethan Carter again. In the end, Ren and I didn't get on. Oliver Grant and Ethan Carter were lying on the tattoo bed instead. Oliver Grant let out a piggy squeal. Ren breathed a sigh of relief. I'm glad I listened to you and didn't lie down, or I would have been the one in pain. Oliver Grant. So, when the tattooist came out, I realized what Ethan Carter had written. He had written my name on his side waist. There's still some redness around his thin muscles, and I reach out to touch it unconsciously. Just as my fingertips touched his lean side, Ren snapped a quick picture. TSK, 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 full of color. I jerked to retract my hand when Ethan Carter grabbed my fingertips and gave me a slightly aggressive look. A tingling sensation spread throughout my body. Oliver Grant yelled from the other side, Emily Harper, you have no conscience. Why didn't you come to see me? I'm in pain. This photo was posted by Ren to the circle of friends. So many friends commented below. I got a separate message from Lucas Pierce. There was only a question mark. I didn't reply because Ren and I had already gotten on a plane for a trip. A week later, I came back and dove back into game development. After all, I invested in it. Waiting to go back again has been New Year's Eve. I ate quickly and fled home in front of Lucas Pierce's murderous eyes. I prepared all the documents for studying abroad on the computer. Yes, this is always scheduled. I used to say I didn't want to take over the family business because I was too young and immature. These days with Ethan Carter, I saw them fighting for their goals, seeing them start their careers with passion. Suddenly, I felt inspired. I wanted to be a good adult too. Maybe seeing as I was delaying my plans to go over there again. My mom called me and it was Lucas Pierce who spoke. Hiding from me? I paused. We hadn't spoken in a while since our last disagreement. I looked at the computer and slowly said, No, on the tablet. Ethan Carter sent a message. I'm here at Sensei's. I can finish at 8 p.m. Are you doing anything later? After I turned on the speakerphone, my hands were free to reply to him. No, then I'll pick you up later. I'll pick you up later, he said, probably because he heard the sound of the message. Lucas Pierce's voice sank a few points. Messaging that boyfriend of yours again? I hummed. Brother Lucas Pierce. You guys have fun. I won't be there. I'll be there. Happy New Year. You don't want any gifts this year either? I froze for a moment. For as long as I can remember, every New Year's Eve after dinner at home, I spent it with Lucas Pierce and a bunch of his friends. Would set off fireworks together, keep the New Year's Eve together. The annual routine, exchanging New Year's gifts, and then saving my own girly thoughts in a gift for him. But now, I don't think it's necessary. It's too ambiguous. I do not like ambiguity. So, I hold the phone tightly and slowly said, "Thank you, Lucas Pierce, brother. I am 22 years old, not a child. The gift will not be." His friend's voice on the other end. "What's wrong? What's wrong? What do you know? She has to be with her boyfriend. Didn't you see Emily Harper's friend circle?" "Oh, I'm almost 30. I don't understand these young people." Something fell on the floor. Lucas Pierce. Gift for Sophie Williams. Dropped. I couldn't see Lucas Pierce's expression, but I felt that the air pressure was a bit low, so I said, "I'm hanging up now. Have fun." After hanging up the phone, I replied to Ethan Carter's message. "Do you want to go for anything?" Almost a second back. "Take you to the countryside for fireworks. Can you come out?" "I can." I rushed to the bedroom to change. Of course. I also prepared a New Year's gift for Ethan Carter. In the past, he had been the one to initiate it, and today I wanted to show him that he was the one with the gift too. Grand and brilliant fireworks set off across the sky, like a gorgeous confession. Such a nice-looking scene. Really perfect for kissing. Ethan Carter wrapped his arms around my waist. A gentle and delicate kiss spreads down a little bit. Two awkward people, kissing for the first time, always touch each other's teeth. Ethan Carter was gentle at first, but later it felt like he was losing control. He held the back of my head and wrapped one arm around my waist, keeping me close to his chest. The heartbeat reaches an agreement before it's on the verge of jumping out of his throat. He kissed me so dominantly and aggressively that I could barely stand up, so I had to wrap my arms tightly around his neck, feeling the hormones spread unchecked, until an abrupt cell phone rings. Ethan Carter and I stop. Turning our heads, we see Lucas Pierce standing in the shadows, his eyes obscure. Ethan Carter presses down on my head, shielding me in his arms. Always gentle and modest. He's angry for the first time. He raised an eyebrow at Lucas Pierce. "What's the matter? Lou has a penchant for spying on people making out?" For some reason, I felt that Lucas Pierce was like a bomb about to explode. He breathed heavily, calmed down on the verge of losing control, and held out his hand toward me. "Sophie Williams, come here." I didn't move. His jawline tightened, and it looked like a storm was brewing under his eyes. "Are you going to come over here by yourself? Or do I have to carry you back myself? Or do you want your parents to know what you're doing now?" I looked at him silently. "Brother Lucas Pierce, are you threatening me? Isn't it normal for me to kiss my boyfriend?" He slowly closed his eyes. When he opened them again, he took a big step towards us, and then a punch smashed into Ethan Carter's face. They got into a fight. My parents found out about my relationship and grounded me. I protested, but it was ineffective. "Why are you dismissing him when you've never even gotten to know him? He's a wonderful person. My dad." Wei, don't go for trial and error. You're too far apart. It won't work out. My mom. It's your first time to fall in love. Mom understands how you feel. But Wei, you're the only daughter I have. I just want to see you with someone you know. Lucas Pierce. You're not from the same world. I sneer. Lucas Pierce. Are you satisfied? That's what you see, isn't it? I'm doing you a favor. I don't need to. I'm a grown man. I know right from wrong. He was extremely patient, but his eyes were a bit paranoid. Don't you understand? If you didn't have a monetary relationship, he wouldn't even be with you. You wouldn't have crossed paths. At this moment, I could finally confirm that what happened last time was really intentional on his part. So, Lucas Pierce touched my face. So, break up with him. And then, we're together. Didn't you used to be the most clingy? I shook his hand off. Did you forget how you rejected me? I'm not your type. Yes. He barely hesitated. I regret it. I don't want to see you with someone else. I like you. I threw all the gifts he had given me into their garden, then burst out laughing. Actually, I don't quite understand. Lucas Pierce, if you really like me that much, how come you rejected me? You're feeling sorry for yourself just because the girl you grew up chasing after your ass is gone and you're a little out of sorts. Because I'm the one who poked at the crush and you're the one who rejected it yourself. I shouldn't be the one you feel like you should be dashing off. I should have been in pain. I should have been stalking you instead of starting a new relationship 6 months later. He shook his head blankly. No, Lucas Pierce. You're the one who said that girls shouldn't be too forward. Desperate. Then you'll just have to watch me fall in love with someone else. I was surprised when Sister Victoria Blake came to see me. Lucas Pierce and I have only been in contact a few times. We're not actually together. We've known each other for so many years. If we really had feelings for each other, we'd be together already. It was as much to me as it was to myself. Victoria Blake sighed. Lucas Pierce likes you. I was told this every day for a while. And then what? What did it have to do with me? I didn't want to deal with it. He rejected me himself, calling me his sister, and now he's saying he likes me. Doesn't he think it's ridiculous himself? Victoria Blake agreed. That's why I say he deserves to lose it. Anyone with eyes can see he's different to you. He can't see it in himself. I pursed my lips and didn't say anything. I thought of Lucas Pierce's strangely impatient look that rainy night. Would he have looked at me that way if he liked it? He used to think that for you. Loved ones are a better existence than a couple. Because once you fall in love, you're faced with arguments, bonding, and even breakups. And he doesn't want to lose you, doesn't want to break the relationship, and wants to maintain the status quo. But in fact, he forgot. Even if it is a relative, there will be a day when everyone will have their own family and drift apart. How can a relationship that has been broken go back to the way it was in the beginning? So, after seeing that you're with someone else, and not just kidding, he couldn't sit still. He regretted it. Victoria Blake's dissecting his heart. But I don't care right now. I'm not saying anything nice about Lucas Pierce. I'm trying to get me to look at my heart, to make my own choices. Some people are just missing out. But what we have now is more precious, isn't it? You have to be brave once in your life to regret it. Sophie Williams. Don't be like me. On her way out, she gave me a letter. It was from Ethan Carter. Mom and Dad wouldn't let Ren and Oliver Grant come to see me, so they asked Victoria Blake to deliver it. There was still a bank card inside. He paid me back double. Sophie Williams. I've enjoyed my time with you, but I also understand the gap between each other. My family, my career, in the eyes of the world. None of them match you. In fact, at the beginning, I thought you were holding the mentality of teasing me to be with me, or a tool to gamble with other people. I accept it all, because I can't refuse you, because I like you for many years. You're such a good and cute girl that no one doesn't like. So thank you for giving me this chance to not only save me from myself, but to fulfill my desire to have you. Sophie Williams. I love you. So I want you to be happy even more. Don't fight it for me. Okay. If there really comes a day when I can be worthy of you, I'll come back to you. And if you choose someone else, I'll wish you the best with all my heart, because you deserve better in the first place. I was sent abroad early. I had no further contact with Ethan Carter, as everyone had hoped. So I regained my freedom. Lucas Pierce flew thousands of miles to be with me every week, as he had done countless times in the past. He cooked for me, watched TV with me, and prepared everything for me. But there are no more waves in my heart. I accepted in silence, because resisting won't bring me any benefit. I don't want to study day in and day out. I think if I become strong one day, I would have a choice. So I went and tried to reach out to my family's business. I gathered all my thoughts and tried to get better. Mom and Dad were so relieved and said I finally got it. Lucas Pierce was happy and said we'd have plenty of time later. Everyone was happy. But why wasn't I happy at all? I would just think of Ethan Carter when I was tired of studying. He would draw me careful highlights, hand me a glass of water when I coughed, and let me sleep in his arms when I was sleepy. All I had to do was look over at him, and the love in his gaze would be returned without fail. I sniffled, pulled out my phone and looked at Ren's circle of friends and fumed. My name. Would he wash it off? After paying back all the money, would he forget about me? By the time the second year rolled around, I was able to fully map out the family's industry. Also took over the business in the foreign branch. Made beautiful results. Sister Victoria Blake dragged Ren Oliver Grant to me to celebrate. Congratulations on the birth of our new strong woman. I smiled and narrowed my eyes. Congratulations to me for becoming the second Victoria Blake. That day, we talked and talked and talked about so many things. Drunk. Ren said, Ethan Carter and his team have developed a lot of small program games that have exploded. That small company of theirs now has hundreds of people. Last week they launched a women's game, and it's the #1 game in the world. He's amazing. The air is suddenly quiet. Ethan Carter. I haven't heard of him in a while. His name is the boiling point of my heartbeat. I glanced sideways as Oliver Grant covered Ren's mouth. Here. Sophie Williams. Ill drink to you. By the end of that night, Lucas Pierce had arrived, sitting in a chair downstairs in my apartment. I said to him, Lucas Pierce, I don't like you anymore. Even though you've been in my sights all these years, I don't like you anymore. Lucas Pierce paused violently. Have you not forgiven me? I forgive you. But I don't like you. I thought I'd like you forever. But you see, people change. Have you not forgotten him? We grew up together. And our 20 years of love is no match for the 6 months you spent with him? He questioned me with red eyes. The order of appearance in life is very important. Whether it is early or late will affect the choice and the result. I shook my head. Lucas Pierce. It's not comparable. And it's not comparable. Sister Victoria Blake says that often a miss is a miss. Let's be decent. You're still my brother. But I don't want to be your fucking brother. A tear fell from his eye. It was like going back to the very beginning of the story. Only the roles were reversed. Lucas Pierce. I've got one person in my heart, and I can't have another. You go home and don't ever come back to me again. I got up and went upstairs without stopping. By my 3rd year, my studies here were over and the branch was booming. I also became the object of exchange of compliments from parents in my circle. These 3 years, I did not go back. Ren asked me when she came to help me pack together. Are you still thinking about Ethan Carter? I didn't say anything. Have you met him? I shook my head. When I left, my cell phone was confiscated and I got a new one with a new card. Plus, with Mom and Dad and Lucas Pierce watching, I had no way of contacting him. I heard about him from the news. From Ren. Ren pulls out her cell phone, opens the photo album and hands it to me. Once a month, he comes to your place. Even I don't know. I was shocked beyond words. Why did you only find out now? It's because of a post by a foreign student in a book. He said that he often sees a handsome man outside our school. Like he's looking for someone. Or just looking for someone. A lot of people in the comments followed up with photos, saying they'd seen him at some point in a certain year or month. He was always alone, with all the details pieced together. They said he had been coming here for 3 years, like a thunderbolt. But he never waited for the one. I covered my face, tears streaming down my face. I had just gotten off the plane when a message popped up on my phone. It showed that a large sum of money had been received on the bank card. Seeing the company that made the call, I realized, this is the game of Ethan Carter. The company I invested in that year. I heard that this game had a 1-week online turnover of over $100 million. It's very hot. The results over the past few years have made him a hot new young talent. He's capable. I know it. And he hasn't let me down. So, is this a bonus for me? Meanwhile, an unfamiliar phone call showed up on the screen. For some reason, I had a strong feeling. It was him. With my heart in my throat, I picked up the phone. On the other end, it was Ethan Carter's warm voice. Sophie Williams, I'm coming for you. If there's ever a day when I'm good enough for you, I'll come back for you. Remember the bet from 3 years ago? Ethan Carter. I bet that you would let me win. That my investment would pay off. His voice was clear and low and pleasant. There are letters that haven't been delivered in over 3 years. Would you like to see them? They're all addressed to your name. You turn around. End of story.